Listen, we have to get going, and fast. Evacuating warehouses is one of the most stressful events in our line of work.
If at the end of this I see one speck of powder that isn't cleaned up, I'll personally drag your face through it.
We have to be quicker than this. Come on. Izzy, you almost dropped that. Be careful.
It's really heavy, boss. I just tripped over those boxes. Damn.
Why did I even hire you?
When the police are on their way, it makes it even worse.
The smell! We have to get rid of the smell, otherwise they'll know immediately!
Keep it moving. We have 45 minutes. Don't forget to unplug those machines first.
We have no time to waste. Every minute we waste is a minute in which we can leave traces. So get in the car, we have to get going.
Well, that was intense.
Tell me something.
I've never experienced an evacuation like this before. Even with your
Thompson.
father. Right. Apologies.
You're right. We never had to evacuate this fast. Only 3 hours to empty 4 warehouses? That's a record.
What's the reason that we heard it this late? We have informants, right?
Correct. Usually we hear about police actions far in advance. Only problem today was that none of the informants were involved in the planning process. The action was planned very suddenly, hence why the informants were late. We're lucky that we got the 3-hour head start to begin with.
You're very lucky with your informants in that case, Miss Harvey.
I know I am. They are very well taken care of, don't worry about that.
I wouldn't have expected anything else.
You all would have probably guessed this, but the reason that we're here is to evaluate. To see how everything went while we wait for more information from the informants. Who would like to start? Just briefly about how the evacuation went.
I'm sorry, I have a different question before we start.
Go ahead.
Not to be like that, but who is that sitting next to you? I've never seen her before.
Oh, right. I forgot that you and Jones have not met her yet. My apologies. This is my personal assistant. She shadows me, keeps up with my appointments, and takes notes.
Oh, I see.
Perhaps the two of you could introduce yourselves as well?
Of course. My name is Carter. I'm very passionate about botany and therefore lead the plant department. It's nice to meet you.
I'm Jones. We make party pills.
Wow, Jones. Dripping with enthusiasm as always.
Is that a problem?
Of course not. It's just remarkable.
Miss Harvey, if I may be so curious, what happened to Stephany? I recall her being your personal assistant?
She was, yes. She became a little too involved in this part of the business. She asked too many questions and wanted to know too many things. Both Vic and I didn't have a good feeling about this, hence why I've never taken her to one of these meetings.
So, she was taken care of?
Not like that. She is the receptionist at the office now, which is why I don't want to see any of you in the office building anymore. Mainly looking at you, Blue.
Understood, Miss Harvey.
Good. Now back to my original question. Who wants to talk about their evacuation first?
I'll go first.
Sure, go ahead, Thompson.
After I called the workers, it took a while for people to show up. I will have a conversation with them about it. This was unacceptable. Once we got to actually evacuate, it went pretty smoothly. Aside from the clumsy workers, we were out and clean in under 3 hours.
Clumsy how?
Almost dropped equipment and goods. In their rush, they either started falling over their own feet or forgot to ask others for help.
I see. We may need to have a meeting to discuss your workforce. I don't like the sounds that I'm hearing.
Of course.
Okay, next.
I'll go. As we already expected, cleaning out all the powder was an absolute pain. It was really hard getting the last bits of it out of there. The big equipment was carried out in no time, though. We spent most of the time cleaning up.
Let's hope it was good enough then.
We followed all of your protocols. I hope that was sufficient.
We'll see. Next.
I had some difficulties in my department.
Elaborate.
The sudden temperature change will probably be detrimental for some plants. That's the first problem. I've given my workers the task to harvest as many tops as they can right now, but I cannot promise that all of the plants will make it. Besides that, the smell was incredibly hard to get rid of. We really tried everything we could, but I'm afraid it may not be good enough. They can, of course, write it off as some teen smoking in an abandoned warehouse, but I don't know if they'll take that, especially considering that they have their focus on you.
Honestly, Carter, I think it's manageable. I will think of something when a need arises, alright? You're not standing alone here.
Thank you, Miss Harvey. I really appreciate that.
Of course. Jones?
Yeah, it went well. We were lucky to be in between batches. That made for an easy cleanup and an easy move. My workers were fast and knew what they were doing. No complaints.
That's good to hear. Alright. I must say that I'm pleased with the absolute speed at which each of you operated. There was not a wasted second after the first call. I'm pretty sure we did well. Vic!
The informants called.
What did they say?
The police were absolutely baffled to arrive at the warehouses to find nothing. They are going around to the warehouses trying to find traces. So far, it's looking good. But that could always change. And what I already expected. They also went to Carter and Thompson's warehouse. It was a good call to evacuate them as well. Otherwise, we would have had major problems.
I'm very happy to hear that. Good job, everyone. You can be proud of yourselves. Let's hope the police won't find anything.
I'll keep you updated. The informants were all busy at the station, as you might imagine. I'll let you know when I hear from them.
Thank you so much, Vic. Alright, positive news. This does not mean that we can let our guard down. Not in any way. We have to be very careful. Each of you have brought their equipment and materials to the new warehouse?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. For tonight, keep everything in the trucks. Have guards on the lookout. Make sure they can move whenever needed. When we get more information from the informants, I want all of you to build up in your new warehouse. And I want to make one thing very clear. We have to lay low. No increase in production, no getting new workers, no expanding the territory, no changing prices, nothing. Just build up, start producing and selling as you normally would. We don't want to stand out in any way right now. This also means that I will spend the next few days or even weeks at the office building. If you need me, call me. Like I said before, I don't want to see any of you there. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Wonderful. Now all of you go home and get a good night's sleep. It's been a long day. I will talk to all of you soon. No, Amelia, I already told you. Listen. Listen. You're growing too fond of that one girl. You know exactly who I'm talking about, the new girl. You can't fool me. I know what's going on. I know you better than you think, alright? And I don't want you to get any funny ideas or feelings for someone that doesn't matter. Do you understand me? You knock that shit off right now. Do you understand me? Good. I'm not going to tell you how I get all this information. That's none of your business. Now get back to what you're supposed to do. I'll talk to you soon. Hello, darling. What can I do for you? Please drop those over there as always. Thank you. Say, how are you doing? Don't look so confused. Can I not show interest in my assistant? Please, take a seat. This last week has been so busy that I haven't really had a chance to talk to you. Of course we talked, but nothing more than the work-related things. I was just wondering how it's all going for you. A lot of hectic things have been happening, and I've just kind of dumped you in the other side of the business. So I just wanted to check in. What kind of employer would I be if I wasn't concerned about that? Exactly. So, tell me. That's good to hear. You're not saying that to appease me, right? Perfect. Have you been able to keep up with your tasks all right? I saw you working extra hours last week. Oh, well, that's good. I already told you, I work ungodly hours. Don't worry about me, please. Good. Well, if anything changes, please let me know. I would hate for you to feel overworked or unsatisfied in any way. Darling, I can still sense some suspicion. Are you afraid I will use whatever you say against you? I know that the way you came into my employment was somewhat unconventional. However, you've been doing so well. You're following orders, you're doing exactly what I ask you to do. You even dare to make suggestions from time to time. As long as you keep this up and tell me if anything changes, there shouldn't be any problems, okay? Wonderful. Do you have any other questions? Then I won't hold you up any longer. Have a good afternoon, darling.
Oh. Oh my, I'm so sorry. I didn't see you. I was so in my thoughts. Are you okay? Did I hurt you? That's good. Once again, I'm so sorry. I'm glad. Thank you. You know, I was actually looking for you. We haven't really had the chance to talk a lot lately, so I was wondering if you maybe wanted to join me for a walk later? During lunch? Great. Can you meet me at the front desk around 12:30? I have to take my lunch at that time. Otherwise, Miss Harvey will not be happy. All right, I'll see you then. It's such a wonderful day out, isn't it? Taking a walk was a good idea. So, how you been holding? When are you not busy? Miss Harvey will make sure that you'll always have something to do, it seems. Speaking of, I've never seen Miss Harvey in the office as much as last week. Is everything going okay? Just a slow period? Are you sure? Her schedule is slammed as always. You're right. When you have a slow period, there's time to finally catch up on those tasks. I wanted to talk to you about something, if that's okay with you. You're a woman that seems approachable, so I thought I'd ask you. I've noticed some things going on in the business. I can't quite put my finger on it. I've been trying to find what I'm looking for, but Miss Harvey is keeping me at a distance. Whenever I was her assistant, I could sense that some shady things were going on. But before I could find any proof, she demoted me to the receptionist position, keeping me away from her personal business. I was wondering if you maybe have any idea what might be going on. You don't have to answer that right now, of course. You can take some time to think about it, but it's not right. It doesn't feel right. The office furniture story, It feels like it's covering up for something, you know? Anyway, if you're interested, I'd like to invite you over to my apartment. There we can have a private chat about this. Let's put it like this. This upcoming Friday, I want to welcome you. Feel free to come over at any time you want. If you won't come, I know enough and will never speak of this again, okay? No hard feelings at all. I understand it if you don't want anything to do with this. Just give it some thought, okay? Wonderful. Let's head back to the office. My lunch break is almost over.